this thing out, 1930.
What's happening, guys? Chris VA Travels. I'm up here in western Pennsylvania. I'm going to visit Fort Necessity. Yeah, the initial engagement of the French and Indian War, going back to 1754. And I'm going to take a look at the museum on the inside and then walk around the fort. Yeah, and I think I'm going to walk around the fort first. I know that footage is going to be more popular. And before I go inside, you guys know I'm from Virginia. And I live a little south of all of the action, so I've never really taken a deep dive into the war. Oops. And yeah, so I'm here to learn, experience this place, and show it off for you guys. Yeah, it's free. It's put on by the National Park Service. And you'll see the hours here daily, 9 until 5. Yeah, so the trail to the fort is this way. Oh, and I'll give a shout out to Bill Molyneux. He suggested I stop by. He's also got a YouTube page, Bill and Goober's History World. Look it up, and he's pretty much an expert on the French and Indian War. If you want to take a deeper dive, you can check out his videos. And also, he does something pretty cool. All the money that he makes from his videos, he donates to these sites, so that's pretty cool. So back here, kind of a kid's little play area, it looks like. All right, so it looks like there's also a tavern back there to take a look at. Cool. I guess I'll go on to the fort first, then I'll come back, take a look at the tavern, and let me check out this map, see how far it is. So here we are. It doesn't look too far. 0.2 miles to the fort, and then to the tavern, 0.3 miles down that way. Okay, yeah, good. They've got this pretty well marked. That little pillar right there says to fort. All right, made it. And like I say, it took no time to get out here, just the 0.2 miles. And pretty good painting right here. There would be Washington on his horse and his 40 Virginia militiamen splitting some oaks. And you'll see they kind of built a palisade going around the little storehouse in the center there, which I guess we'll get a closer look at in a minute. And it was about 53 feet across, and they built a 14-foot square log storehouse in the middle, like I say. And this would be the tree line in 1754, where the French and Indians surrounded the fort, hid out in the woods. Are these the number of British they ended up killing? Another sign over here you can pause and read, but just talking about how the 700 French and Indian troops approached. 400 British at the fort. 100 of them were sick, so only 300 fighting. 30 died, 70 were wounded in the British defenses. And yeah, 30 soldiers lay dead in the mud. And it actually rained that day to make matters worse. Oh! Alright, so there's firing demonstrations. Let me run up there and... Okay, you see they built some earthworks. And from the pictures I've seen, they had a little fence going up around this thing also. Okay, here we go. Alright. Get a good shot of the Union Jack. Wind just kind of died on me. Oh, that's it. Cool. All right. Well, let's walk in, take a look at this thing. I see a dovetailed design, holding these this small timber storehouse, and just some hogsheads in there. And I wonder if that was water or if that was alcohol. Oh, I think I see, yeah, rum. 11 hogsheads. All right, so gunpowder kegs and flour, corn. All right, and yeah, just ammunition. GW, George Washington, I would assume. And wow, this is tiny. King George GR down there. Oh, okay, well, that's it for the storehouse inside Fort Necessity. And you'll see just palisaded. Again, 54 feet across. I'll just walk around. Oh, you see they've got bark. Just oak bark as the roof. Packing up, and I'll just take a real quick look at this swivel gun. And I think they packed, there were two here, the guy had told me, and they filled them with grape shots. So this is pretty much a big shotgun. And then again, French Indians were hiding in the woods, so it probably didn't do too much. But yeah, it's gotten pretty crowded here. And then you'll see they've got signs all around the tree line just telling you where the tree line was in 1754. And you'll see the British were surrounded. All right, that was the fort. I'm gonna walk over, take a look at the tavern before I go inside to the museum. So while I walk over to the tavern, I should tell you why all this went down. About a little over a month prior, May 28th, 1754, George Washington and his Virginia militia attacked some French troops. Small little band of about approximately 35 soldiers. And I think I cut through here. And in the fighting, he ended up killing, well, it's kind of a word versus word thing, a French diplomat. Yeah, he knew the French were going to retaliate. So he fled, came to this big field, built this fort out of necessity. Hence the name Fort Necessity, and that's why it was erected. So yeah, the French were pretty mad, and that's when they came and did what they did. All right, so the Civilian Conservation Corps of Fort Necessity. Let me pause and check this out. Okay, so this was during the whole FDR thing. Yeah, they've got this over at Fort Frederick in Maryland. They've got one of these set up. Yeah, so in 1933, about 4 years into the Great Depression, America's unemployment rate was about 25%. So FDR and his New Deal created a bunch of programs, the most popular being the Civilian Conservation Corps, to create jobs, help the economy. And from 1935 until 1937, Fort Necessity was host to one such camp. And that would be Pennsylvania SP-12. So there it is. Pretty cool. Okay, let me go back and I wonder how old these stones are. Washington Tavern, 200 yards up this steep grade. They weren't kidding when they said steep grade. Okay, actually, oh, there it is. Go up and get a closer look. Unfortunately, I don't know much about this tavern, and I hope there's a write-up on it. I'm sure there is. Oh, interesting, it's not quite symmetrical. You see the row of windows on that second floor, that middle floor right there. And yeah, stone. I wonder if that's a better way back. Stone foundation. And these 4 windows on the side. The top one's got an arched window. A wall over here. Okay, just kind of a random stone sitting up right here. I thought that might have been something, but let me walk around. Okay, 2 wide chimneys. And, all right, so the front of it's right up on the road. There's a ranger over there. Yeah, they've got to have a plaque. Here we go. Oh yeah, you see little lintels above that middle band. Those top windows are right up on the roof. I'm gonna ask this guy if they let people go inside. Oh yeah, he's gonna let me go inside. They close at 4. It's 3:48 right now. And let me hop up these things. Okay, there it is. Pretty cool. George Washington Tavern. Oh, big front door. And I see a wagon around the side. Conestoga wagon over there. Yeah, that would take that big national road. Feels good in here. Oh, there's no central hallway. Oh, pretty cool. All right, so kind of a parlor, bar. A lot of these taverns would kind of have booths the bartenders would work out of, but this is kind of more of a traditional, more of a modern, I guess, bar. And all right, so playing some checkers over there, playing some cards. I see a tobacco twist, a little wash basin over there, a little stove in the fireplace. So yeah, that'd be more 1800s. Okay. Frequented mostly by gentlemen. Activities such as gambling, smoking, and conversations took place here. Drinking rye, whiskey, brandy, and hard cider. Okay, so this must be the ladies' parlor, I would assume. And this was the finest room in the tavern. Ladies, children, and gentlemen would enjoy reading, conversation, and entertainment. Kind of a Windsor chair right there. Again, that national road went to the Vandalia. Starting out there in Cumberland. Oh, yeah, and you see writings on the wall. They did this a lot during the Civil War. And this obviously is the dining room. Check out that carriage horn back there. I'm sure that thing made some noise when you blew it. Pretty nice spread right there. You've got breakfast. I see waffles, bacon, eggs, some little muffins. Okay, this is the busiest room in the tavern. Meals were served family style. All right, real quick, this is pretty cool. It's a self-guided tour, and I've only got like 5 minutes, so let me run up here. There's that Conestoga wagon out there. Oh, okay, there's a lot of rooms up here. Another wash little bin right there. Is that a sponge or some lye soap down there? Little mercury mirror. Kind of a rope bed. See a little doll back there. Pretty cool. Another wash basin on the other side. Chamber pot. 13 people residing at Mount Vernon, in addition to Henry Sampy, the innkeeper. There were 4 stage drivers, 2 horse keepers, 3 women, and 3 children. So pretty packed place. Cool turnings on the legs on that little table. Yeah, you see the chamber pot underneath there. Another little wash bin. Cool little rocking chair right there. Oh wow, they really cram them in here, huh? Yeah, I'm sure they would have these windows open in the evening. That's a nice trunk right there. I'm sure it's a reproduction, but nice leather trunk. Good shot of the mountains out here. And I think we have one last room over here. Another nice trunk right there. And kind of the same thing, a little trundle bed under there for the children. That's kind of a tall back rocking chair right there. Oh, nice clock. And is that the tavern at the bottom, or is it just kind of a barn? Yeah, all your usual, another little wash basin. Just heard them say downstairs that it was 25 cents for a family to stay here for the night. Okay, and I think there might have been a room right here. Yeah, there is actually. So, okay, this is the kitchen. I see the stove, or the fireplace, the big open hearth over here. And you can read up, 19th century tavern kitchens were often integral to the house for convenience and warmth in cooler months. I'm sure up here in Pennsylvania, with more than a dozen iron foundries operating in Fayette County, it's possible the fireplace may have been upgraded to an iron cooking stove. Alright, so I see a turkey right there, corn, little sugar cones right there. Oh yeah, and you'll see the boot scrapers down here. And let me go up, get a close-up of this pretty good picture of a young George right there. And that's probably how he looked when he was out here. 22 years of age. And you see lights. I'm sure this looks pretty cool at night when you're driving by. Over here on this stone, pretty good marker. Fort Necessity, located about 4 miles from here. Lieutenant Colonel George Washington, age 22. Pretty cool. Yeah, and this is actually a different tavern. You'll see this one's made out of stone. Just 2 chimneys on this thing, couple dormers up there, clapboard attachment to the left, and it says the Farium Inn. Okay, so yeah, this is just another tavern on the National Road here. Everybody headed out west. There's a nice stagecoach right there. Some Conestoga wagons over here. A little goat down there. And here's the lay of the property. Okay, so this is the tavern, definitely. You can tell by the chimneys. Okay, so there'd been a smokehouse to the left. Privy around back, orchard behind it. Shed in the stable over here to the right. Yeah, so this was the National Road from back in the day. This section of the historic roadbed was obliterated in 1936 when it was graded for the US Route 40. All right, so yeah, let me go over, get another shot of the side of it. And you'll see different brick door. They probably added this door. I'm sure that's not original. Yeah, so these were pretty much the tractor trailers of the 1800s. Throw all your goods up on there, head out west. Conestoga wagon. And looking for the shocks. Yeah, not a very comfortable ride. You see the brakes right there. Maybe lock up some valuables right there. And what is this? C. Wright Schumann Memorial. Okay, yeah, pretty neat. Peek around here, a little row of cedars. Cool guys, all right. Great painting right here. A charming field for an encounter. George Washington at Fort Necessity. July 3rd, 1754. And July 3rd, that's an important date in Pennsylvania history. 109 years later, Battle of Gettysburg. And you can see there in the middle of building it, you see a bunch of logs. Oh, okay, that's a fence going around it, I guess, in front. All right, little tents back there. And then over here, this white oak log, it's a witness to the battle. It's the largest material artifact from Fort Necessity. And There it is from when it was excavated 1953. Oh, here's a big long log. Pretty good drawing. Here he is, and George Washington's first military defeat. And of course, Fort was taken over by French forces, 1754. And a little side note, it looks like the first federally funded highway passed only a few hundred yards from here, linking the Atlantic coast to the Ohio River Valley. And check this guy out over here. Great diorama over here. And the Virginia Regiment met trouble from the start after attacking a French detachment in May 1754. The inexperienced Washington built a fort of necessity. And wow, a lot of work went into this. Oh, dead horses over here. And oh, dead livestock. Who killed those cows and horses? In their opening attack, the French targeted the Virginia Regiment's livestock. Ah, yeah, French played dirty. Oh, here they are hiding out. Okay, yeah, there's all kinds of... Okay, you see the French forces back there? And then over here, map of the western parts of the colony of Virginia, as far as the Mississippi. Okay, so just to kind of orient you, here we are, southern part of, southwestern part of PA. Not too far from Pittsburgh, and somewhere in here is Braddock's battlefield, Battle of Monongahela. And like I say, hopefully I'm going to be visiting that soon. Check out this colonial soldier with his musket. Looks a little scared. All right, there he is, Thomas Jefferson. Braddock, of course, good general, a little pompous, and Native American soldier. Here's George again, and this is a really good statue. Obviously, this is later in life. He was only 22 when everything went down out here, and you see him taking some notes. Another colonial soldier over here. And prelude to the war and the little Battle of Jumonville. George may have made a blunder there. It's kind of a he said, she said thing, but he may have killed he was killed, but they say George Washington killed a French diplomat. The British say an Indian, a native, had killed the officer. And here is the half-king, Iroquois Viceroy, Tana Grisham. And over here, a French soldier. And yeah, obviously they were outraged about the Jumonville that I had just mentioned, and that's when they attacked Fort Necessity. A lot of good oil paintings in here. This one's entitled Post and King Beaver at Fort Duquesne. Alright. And some items down here. Pipe, razor, belt buckle. A couple of necklaces, bracelets. Oh. Clamshells. Interesting. Some neat French items over here. This is a breechcloth. It's a reproduction. Some moccasins down here. And this is a toque. It's a wool cap. And this bayonet was found here at Great Meadows, 1936. And you'll just see a powder horn and this axe head. And then over here we've got some Native American items. And check out this sash. It's a reproduction in this tomahawk. This headdress is pretty cool. And their moccasins. And lastly, we've got some British items. And I can never think of what this is called, but it's called a gorget. British officers you would see wearing those. There's a famous picture of George wearing that. Over here, a broadaxe. And yeah, they had to build the road coming out here. And this pistol from the 1740s. And compass survey, some surveying tools. Pincers. Another great painting, guys. This is a larger picture of what we saw earlier. And here are the British regulars in front of Fort Necessity, and that's got to be George right there. And yeah, it was a fatal mistake because the French and Indians hung out in the forest. They built the fort. Naively, Washington built the fort a little too close to the woods, and the French and the Indians hung out in the woods, kind of guerrilla style, and picked them off. And then to make matters worse, it rained, soaking the British gunpowder. So they suffered 1/3 casualties. 100 of their 300 soldiers were casualties. I think only 30 died, 70 were wounded. But yeah, another good statue over here. You see this colonial soldier pulling the British soldier away. And yeah, here are the French and Indians right here. Yeah, there they are. And these are some posts from the actual fort. And they were discovered 200 years later by J.C. Harrington, an archaeologist. Check this out, a grenadier's military cap from the 48th Regiment. Braddock soldiers. Just a wash bin, and these are ladies' shoes, reproduction. And a timeline here of the entire war leading into the Revolution. And where it all began here, Fort Necessity. And that led to Braddock's defeat, Battle of Monongahela. Like I say, hopefully I'm going to be going to that in the next couple of days, but that was pretty much a slaughter. Here are all the major battles right here. In the French and Indian War, as you guys know, were part of the 7 Years' War. Basically the First World War. Yeah, you'll see all across Central Europe, Asia, Philippines, down there in Manila. And it ended with the Treaty of Paris, February 10th, 1763. Back here we've got kind of an art gallery. And over here, and this is just a village tavern. Having a good time. And here is Albert Gallatin. And I don't know who that is, sorry. Okay, this must be building the Braddock Road coming out here. And we know who this is. Over here we've got Thomas Jefferson, another Virginian in the house. And this is the Charles Peale painting. And an engraving over here of a suspension bridge over the Ohio River. All right, another Virginian. Monroe over here. And then over here, Mr. Whig himself, Henry Clay, another Virginian. And famously tried to become president about 100 times, never succeeded. And then Andrew Jackson. And this is a little display on building that big national road that followed Braddock's Road. If you want to read about it, construction began 1811, ended 1818, measured 66 feet wide, wow, and 136 miles long, paved with stone from Cumberland, Maryland to Wheeling, Virginia. Now, of course, West Virginia. Over here, a mile marker, 79 to Wheeling, to Uniontown, 11. And this is a wheel horse saddle for a Conestoga wagon. Just a little trunk right here, and this is a coachman's horn. Yeah, I guess you blow that thing to get people out of your way. Pretty neat items in here.
All I care is that you don't bump me up with someone who kicks. Last night at the Fairview, I thought I was sleeping next to a mule, one fella packed.
Going across here, we've got an axle to a wagon. And this is a hotel license to the Rush House Hotel. It's also an alcohol license. And check this out, double barrel pistol. Down here, this is a quill cutter. Just a men's wallet. And check out this oil lamp, it's got 2 wicks on it. Boy, they talk a lot about this national road. But 1890s, this is the Harrisonburg Wheel Club. And this lady's fixing her flat 1909 Model T. Not going to begin to try and pronounce the name of this house, but this is in Somerfield, Pennsylvania. And these workers installing the sign, US 40 highway, Zanesville. All right, the Summit Hotel. And then 1956, Congress started the interstate system, and it looks like interstate ran parallel to US Route 40, and it kind of siphoned some of the traffic away. Some reenactors over here. And some tools used for maintaining the road. You'll see another broadhead axe, head of a shovel, and what is this thing over here? Hammer and rings. Well, I'm not sure what you do with that. Over here, some coins. The one on the left, 1788 Spanish coin. Next to it, you've got an 1853 half dime, then an 1851 1 cent, and to the right is a 1791 1 cent found at Mount Washington Tavern. All right, so we are inside of a tavern, it looks like, and it looks like she's losing her patience. And I think I can see why. This guy's had one too many. This guy looks like a pretty jovial gentleman. Pretty cool. And here's an 1854 cornerstone commemorating the 100th anniversary of Battle of Fort Necessity. And it was also used as a time capsule. Inside, local newspapers, historic documents, a commemorative coin, and a picture of George Washington. All right, over here, so it looks like it went on past Wheeling, ended up going all the way to Vandalia, Illinois, and looks like there's a little trail that extends to St. Louis. Over here, some souvenirs from over the years. Farmington, Pennsylvania. All right. Commemorative plate. Pretty cool canoe right here. And a couple coins. And there's the fort right there on the back. That wraps it up for Fort Necessity. As always, guys, like and subscribe. See you on the next one.